Hey, my name's Aaron. Welcome to Freedom Fridays, where we're leveraging technology to advance God's kingdom. And I am the founder of a software called Scalability. And when we launched Scalability, I did not want to just have it to where people could sign up and then never figure out how to use it and turn around and cancel their subscription in a couple months because they couldn't figure out how to use it and then go on to the next thing and round over and over. I've actually been doing one-on-one coaching with small businesses all the way up to $100 million across the business to actually create systems and automation and streamline the business systems inside of the way everything works from start to finish. And so as a Scalability subscriber, when you're using our software, you can show up to Freedom Fridays where I come in here in a group setting and help you figure out your customer journey, how the business should flow, the strategy, how to target your client, things like that, so that you can actually figure out how to get the use out of the software and make it work for you and your business. We have 24/7, 365 chat support for tech problems inside there, but a lot of times people can't figure out the customer journey. Where do I need to bring people in? How do I need to run them through the process? How can we leverage the automation and different things? And so that's what this is all about. As a subscriber, you can join these live, or if you're not a subscriber, you can always watch us on YouTube, learn something, and go use it with somebody else's software. I'm perfectly fine with that. But we do these to help our people win. So as always, I have a few people in the waiting room, and we'll go ahead and let them in and jump straight into questions this week. A lot of times it's live Q&A, so we'll just get going. Hey guys, how's it going? We're live on YouTube, just so you guys know, but as always, I'm going to say, what's up? How can I serve you? I haven't seen you guys in a while. Ryan, how's the knee going, man?
Coming along.
Coming along? Slow and
Yeah.
steady?
Yes, slow for sure, but steady. It's making progress, so
Glad to hear it.
can't
How
complain,
can I
man.
serve
Thank you
you,
for
man? What's
asking.
going on? I said, how can I serve you, man? What's going
Oh,
on?
sorry, I
Anything
thought
you
you
need
asked
help
somebody
with?
else.
Oh no.
Um,
I'll
yeah, is it I missed the intro. Is it kind of open for Q&A a little bit today?
Yeah, absolutely. So every Friday is going to be, we go live on YouTube at 11:30. That's why I kind of wait to let you guys in. And then
Got it, got
once
it.
we get that going, I just kind of do like a mini intro. But these are always for just live Q&A, strategy session. How do I help you guys progress the business? So tech support is always going to help you guys with like things that are broken. But a lot of people are like the customer journey. What do we do with our people? How do we get the best use out of scalability? So that's what this is always about. It's always going to be open for them.
Okay.
So yeah, man, you got anything going on I can help you with?
Yeah, I actually have a lead magnet that I just built out for female clients that I'm trying to target specifically. It's a lead magnet we're going to promote, so I'm going to build an opt-in page. I have yet to build it, which I know my way around that pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess in terms of delivering it from the opt-in page, what you guys see is like most common or the most successful. My idea is we're just going to do this to start getting email subscribers on our list.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I know all about like adding tags and stuff like that, but I guess my question, that's what I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to ask here.
Is how to deliver it.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
it's a
Is
PDF lead magnet, and there's going to be a Loom video that goes with it. And I don't know if I should have, the Loom video in an email, if I should embed the images in the email, or what do you see is like most common, or if
yeah.
there's any like I don't know if there's like any pre-done workflows. I know when I initially signed up for, it was I think it was high level or something. There was like a template that I downloaded that had a bunch of like sales automation workflows, and I've
Mm-hmm.
kind of picked through and used some of those,
Right.
um, and made my own. The biggest thing I have right now is like my onboarding is turnkey,
Okay.
automated. From the second I take payment, it sends everybody contracts and all the
Yep.
stuff. It's super handy. I don't have to lift a finger for like until they fill everything out.
Yep.
So that's nice.
Nice.
But now I want to
Well,
start marketing.
uh-huh. Absolutely. So we've done this a tons of times, and the easiest way I do it, or the way I choose to do it, and I'll actually share my screen and I can show you guys this real quick. That way it's on the recording on the live. Um, but all you're going to do is take your PDF, go into your media storage and scalability and upload it to there. and then you'll be able to grab a link from the media storage and put it into the delivery email or the confirmation email. So they opt in and they get it, right? So I'll
With just a
actually,
link to it.
yep. And it's super simple. So I'll show you guys that right now. This is a demo account in scalability. But over here on this left side menu, if we scroll down just a little bit, we'll see media storage. If you go to media storage, this is like where your photos and your videos and all that type of stuff are uploaded. If you upload your PDF here, it will show up right here. So I think I got one on I think I got a PDF here on my computer we can put in there. We just put together a lead capture toolkit PDF as well. So it's like, it should be right here. I can upload that one and show you. Yeah, here we go. So if I upload this lead capture toolkit to my media storage, it's going to show up just like this, right? And that's a PDF. When I hover my mouse over it, if I go to this top right corner, these three dots, I can click on that and get the link. And then if we post that link in a new tab and go to it, it takes us directly to the magnet, right? The PDF. So here, if I take that link, then I'm just going to go into automation here on the left, create a new automation. And you were asking about like the done for yous. If we select a recipe, these are the ones that are done for you already. So there's a lot of different ones you guys can read through here. But I'll show you just real quick how to do this out, from scratch. But these are all different ones, like replying to WhatsApp, Instagram automations, Facebook automations, long-term reactivation, frequently asked questions, confirmations for Google My Business. Like there's a bunch of stuff in here. So scroll through those and play with them. I'm going to go from scratch. If I just create workflow from scratch, because I just want to show you guys this real quick. We'll say lead magnet delivery. We'll give it a name, give it a trigger is always going to be like the form. So just make it to where on the sales page, right, the opt-in form to get the free lead magnet, that's what's going to trigger this. And then you're going to do a confirmation email. And in the email here, you'll put your name from email, the subject and everything. And then in here, I'll usually just say, thanks for downloading or thanks for requesting. And then I'll do like capital, click here to download. I'll do something like that. And then we just highlight the click here. And then right up here, you can click this little add link. And there you put the PDF link. And then
Okay.
make your action to where it always puts it in a new window. That way, if they're on your website or a thank you page, it kind of keeps that open and keeps it on their mind a little longer. So just that's it. PDF link, new window, and save. And then it's going to link that text. And when they get the email, it'll be like they click on that and it'll open it up in a window just like this. And then they can download it to their computer or just read it right there.
Okay.
That's quickest and easiest way to like get it out. And that's the way we typically do them. If you have a Loom video, you could say, thank you for requesting the lead magnet lead capture toolkit. Click here to download and then watch this video for whatever. If you said you
Okay.
had a Loom video, and then you could just highlight watch this and link the Loom video, or you could just double space down and paste the link for your Loom video. But ultimately, keep it super simple and short. The shorter it is when they open it up and it just says, thanks, here's the thing you asked for, they go straight to it. And then not kind of, go on with this process a little bit. So in other words, like we want to take advantage of the fact that somebody just opted in, right? And kind of move on. So do your confirmation email, which I didn't save that. So naturally it didn't go. I go to account name for the name, and then for the email, account and email. It'll plug in this location name, location email. That's going to pull the name from the friendly business name on your scalability profile, and it'll plug it in there. So if you change it once on your profile, it'll update all the automations. So that's the reason I like to use this code. The location email will pull the email address that's on your business profile. So when you guys log into scalability, you click on settings in the bottom left, it takes you to your business profile, and you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see the name and email. That's these two things. I'm just going to type something in here just so we can save that. And then do like a 1 day wait, just till the next day. So you deliver the thing, give them a 1 day wait, and then send them another email. I'm just going to copy this right to here. That way it already has the location name, location email in it. And then in this one, just say, hey, just following up to make sure you got the free thing I sent you yesterday. Want to make sure I serve you as much as possible. How can I help you? Or what's your business? What's the biggest thing holding you up right now? Feel free to respond to this email or shoot me a text. Put your phone number in there. Like, just make it a very clean, what's the biggest problem you're looking to solve? Because you're kind of, now they opted in for the free thing. You want to start a conversation so you can get that lead moved over to your sales pages. Or you can run them straight to your sales pages in here. But kind of build this out to where it immediately like delivers the PDF, short, quick, and simple. Here's the thing I promised. And then follow up like the next day. And you guys can keep building these out. It can go right on to a 7 day wait and then an email and a text message, 7 day wait, or you can move them over to another workflow or send them to your website or whatever you want. But kind of take advantage of this process, like deliver it quick and easy, and then follow up from there.
Okay. Um, I guess so my follow-up question to that is a two-step opt-in something that is common or that is doable?
On for what exactly? Like, give me an
Like
example or why you're thinking that or
if
wondering.
someone wanted to say like opt into an email list, like or something like they download a lead magnet. I just remember from ConvertKit, uh, and just some people that and mind you, I don't know much about email marketing. I've had like around 1,000 subscribers before from like 6 years ago, but it was such a cold list that I was getting like less than 5% open. So I just scrapped the
Mhm.
list. So now I have like 200-ish contacts
Mhm.
is all. Um, a lot, like 60-70% open rate, which is pretty good. It's
Mhm.
all people from my hometown for the most part.
Nice.
But as I start building it out, like for the people that opt in for the lead magnet, like the confirm your subscription action type of thing, like it won't actually send them the thing till they go and confirm it. Is that something you can do on here?
You can. I don't do it, or I haven't personally done it. I know like our team's built and other people have built it. You can, and it's good, of course, because it's kind of making them say again that they want in. But we always just basically put it right on the opt-in to where it's like they put in their name and email, and then we put a little paragraph under the button that's like when you opt in, you're saying this. And then if you keep it short and sweet and you just deliver their thing, it's usually like
Okay.
they're like, oh, I just got an email for that.
Okay.
Um,
That's something
because
like if I
even if
was,
they opt in twice, they can still just hit unsubscribe anytime.
yeah.
So
Okay.
it's just kind of like whether you want to run them through a second one or whether you want to just give them the thing.
Okay.
I
Yeah. My
like to go
biggest
just
concern
straight to
was
give them the thing, but
about hitting like promotions tab or spam tab. I had a couple
true.
clients that I onboarded and they were looking for the contract and or they were looking for the intake form and they're like everything came into my inbox but the intake form came to my spam, and that's like the second time I'd heard that and I was like
Yeah.
huh. So it's trying to get everybody that we sign up to add us to their
Yep.
contacts immediately.
Yeah.
uh, but it's a newer domain that I'm using and I haven't really sent many emails from it, and when
Yeah.
somebody signs up they get an email from Stripe and they get an invoice from Stripe, an invoice from Scalability, and then they get 4 emails from me. So it comes through as 6 emails all at once.
Right.
I'm like, I got to figure out how to get rid of the Stripe invoice or the Scalability invoice or one because it's like a duplicate. One's
Yeah.
one from Stripe, one from Scalability, and
Right.
it's the same thing.
Yep.
Um, but I had someone ask, they're like, "Did I get charged twice?" I'm like, "No, it's two separate invoices, um,
Like
but it's
it's
the
two
same
separate
invoice."
invoices. Yeah.
Yeah,
Same invoice, two different places it's coming from.
yeah. So I was just trying to figure out how to cut down on some of that, and the spam thing just kind of like, I don't know,
Yeah.
raised the flag for me. I was like, I better ask. So okay,
Right. I mean, like it's a good idea, right? If you want to build out, and I'm not an email professional either. That is not my forte typically. So I don't do a lot of email marketing. I'm definitely not the professional when it comes to all that.
no
But if you
worries.
can get them to opt in again and add you to their contacts list, that is going to improve the deliverability. And then make sure that you have the dedicated domain set up too inside of
Okay.
scalability, for your email. Some of them will still end up in promotions. So like something we do too is we'll always ask for an email and a phone number. And we always send a text message, even on the freebie. And it literally just says, I sent you an email from support@fastscalability.com. Check your spam, junk, and promotion folders if you don't see it right away. So like we'll always follow up with a text. But I mean, again, it's just whether they opt in twice, get you added to their contacts, all that's going to improve. So the more communication you can get with them, the better and the simpler. Um, I was just thinking of there is a setting, and it's funny because I don't know where all the settings are.
Yeah, there's so
Because I'm
many.
not I'm not the full tech team, but there's a setting where you can go into and there we go. Where you can turn off the receipts from scalability. Like if you just want the Stripe ones to go
Oh
to
yeah.
payments here on the left, and then top right, click on settings. And right here, you'll see enable automatic sales receipts for payments. So if that's toggled on, it's sending them a sales receipt, and you can toggle it off there. There's a couple places, or I know there's that you could actually toggle them off in here, and that might reduce one of the emails that goes out to them, right off the bat.
I got it. Turned it off.
Okay, cool. Well, now it's 5 emails instead of 6.
Yeah, there we go.
We're slowly trimming it down.
Yep.
Your other settings would be inside of Stripe, and I can't screen share and show you that stuff.
No worries. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Anything else?
I don't think so. I'm just gonna
Cool.
listen to see what anybody else has.
Cool. Edwina, how can I help you? It's been a while. Unmute.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, good to see you as well. Thanks for being here. So since we're on email marketing, let's stay there. And then I have one other question. The
I'm always
first
like
one,
email marketing. That's one of my
I,
weak spots. Oh
I
man.
know. Let's try to build that muscle for you.
Okay, yep, let's
Um,
do it.
so Um, I have automations that are like the ones were just showing Ryan. But
Mhm,
if I wanted to set one up that was more like a traditional email marketing, I don't like to do a ton of that either, but I do want some semblance of that. But what
mhm,
I'm noticing in this program, it seems, so I can go in, build out an automation. Let's say it has 7 emails in it over X amount of time. If the lead has gone through those 7, if I add an eighth one, they're not going to get that, correct?
correct. So they'll drop off the bottom as soon as they hit the bottom, right?
Yeah.
So something we like to do, if you're like building an automation and you're continuing
Mhm.
with it,
Yeah.
if you say you've got 7 emails over that set amount of time in an automation, right? So it's they send out an email, waits 7 days, sends another email, and there's 7 of them. They hit the bottom, they're going to drop out of that and they're going to be done. Go down to the bottom under your last email, your last thing, and add a wait step and just make it wait like 999 days. So people will go down the email list, right?
Mhm.
They'll get email 1, wait 7 days, email 2, wait 7 days, email 3, 5, 6, 7, and then they'll hit a wait step and they'll all sit right there in the workflow for 999 days. And what that
Perfect.
allows you to
Okay.
do is it gives you 999 days to just jump in there, add another email, add another 7 days, add an email. You can build out as many as you want. And then you
Mhm.
just go and you'll see all the little people sitting there over the 999-day wait. And
Mhm.
you can click on the people, and then they'll all pop up on the right side. And you can select all of them. And there's a little running man in the top right corner next to the trash can. And if you hover your mouse over the running man, it'll say, push these people to the next step. And so they're on the 999-day wait. You select them all, click the little running man, and it'll push them past it to the next email. And then they'll just start on down the automation. Does that make sense to everybody?
It does. Let me see. So add that
Because I
extended
can
wait
show you.
time.
I can
Yeah,
show
and then
you
when
because I saw Ryan's eyes like, You have a
Yeah,
question
I
on
had
so
it?
the
one question about it, but I actually had the same question. I just completely
Right?
forgot about
So
What
that
did
you're
that
going to click on
spawn?
that running man twice.
You just click on it once and it'll push them past that
Okay.
step.
Click on it, say select all, push to next step. And that's after you've built out that next step.
Yeah, exactly. So you can go under the 999-day wait, and then
Uh-huh.
let me try to find one I can show you real quick. Because you'll go under the 999 wait, right? And then you're just going to keep building stuff. And then you can just push them past it whenever you're ready.
And then,
And then just move the 999-day wait down to the bottom again. And they'll
yeah,
all
do you
go
move
through what you
that
built and it'll
before
stop
you
there again.
push? Do you move that down, that 999
No,
days
push them
down
past
before you
it.
push again?
Push them past it. That way nobody's on it and they'll drop to
Uh-huh.
the next step, either the next email or something. So I'll show you guys here.
Okay.
Ryan, did you have a different question?
You just answered it. Once
Okay.
you push them past it, you move the weight down to the bottom again.
Yep.
And then if you wanted that to be set up for anybody new that comes through, you could put 7 or 3 or 1 day wait where it used to say 999.
Yep. So let me show you. All right. So again, this is back in that same demo account. So here, this is saying somebody, the trigger is, we added a tag and we triggered him on this thing. So we trigger him into this workflow. So right now it's going to do this stuff, right? They're going to go from one step at a time. They're going to get the email, internal notification. They're going to see this date, and then it's going to wait until 30 minutes before that date, and so on. It drops down the list, right? Then it's going to wait till June 5th, 30 minutes before, send them an email. Now, if I know I want to add more things, but I'm not ready, and like you mentioned, when people get to here, then they're going to end and they're going to fall out of this workflow. But I'm like, but I want to add on to this workflow. I'm just not ready yet. So I would click the plus, do a wait, and here I can just make this wait 999, make it days. I'll label it so we can see it, and then save. Now, instead of hitting the end and dropping out, they'll all pile up right here, right? And so then you'll see these little contact people right here. And when you click on them, it brings them up on the right side, and the little running man will be kind of up in this top right corner here. And you just click run, and it'll push them past this weight onto whatever you build here. So they'll sit here for 999 days. So if it takes you 3 months to come back to this and go, okay, I'm going to write an email, and you write the email, I'm going super fast because it's on the recording now. So you guys can go back and slow it down. I write this email and now I'm ready, right? I have an email and then I build a 7-day wait, another email, so on, right? I build a bunch of stuff underneath this. Everybody's still piled up right there. I can select them all and then push them, do the little running man, push them past. They'll all drop here and get the email. And then if there's another 7-day wait, they'll all end up at that one. So then I just take this and I can say move this action and just move it down to the bottom. So then again, they'll go through whatever you built. And then when they hit the bottom, they'll stop at this 999 again, and you can keep building. That's how that's how we do it to keep them from falling off the bottom while we're still building stuff out. Because we'll launch something, we'll get like the delivery email. Like we have a couple automations sitting there right now that the delivery email goes out, gives them the freebie, and then it waits a day, and then it sends them the email like what I just talked to you about, like short, sweet, hey, what's going on? How can I serve you? And then it waits 2 days, and people are, or I'm sorry, then we've got it on a 999-day wait, and they're just sitting right there because it's like we need to go back and add in other emails and follow-ups that we want to happen, but we're just not ready to do it yet. Does this clarify that a little?
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Um, so my other question was, I need to still go in and like move my calendars to scalability. On
Okay.
one, I've got a couple different calendars I use. On one of them, I need it for each availability period. I need like 5 people to be able to join, up to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way to do that in here? Because I know with some calendars there's not. That's why I have that one
Mm-hmm.
currently using a different calendar than like Calendly.
Right. So you're saying to where 5 people could join the call, like they could all schedule the call at the same time or something?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
And
I think
most
it.
calendars cut it off. Like once it's booked, you know.
Mhm. I think it is. Yes, there are different calendars. So when you go to calendars, let me look real quick. There we go. As always, let me get this demo account up to speed. Since we have them on the recordings, I don't like to poke around on public to where everybody's like, "Where'd he go?" Like, keep it sweet, short and sweet for you. Let me make sure all the new stuff's turned on this sub account so that it's most up to date. Okay, share again here. There's different types of calendars that you can create. So if we go to settings in the bottom left corner when you guys log in, and then click calendars here on the left, it'll bring you to the calendars you currently have. And then in the top right, if you click create calendar, it'll show you the different kinds right here. So there's actually a collective booking and a class booking right now, and that'll let multiple people book into one thing. And then there's round robin if you have like sales teams. This one is like you got 5 salespeople, and as leads come through, you want it to go to this person, and then the next lead go to this person, the next lead go to this person. That would be your round robin. But a class booking like these here, those will let multiple people book into the same call. And I think you can limit the class booking. I haven't played with them much, but I think you can limit the class booking to like 5 people or 100 people or whatever.
So I would want class booking and not the collective.
You'd have to
That's
look at both of them.
okay.
Because like I said, I haven't played with either one of them too much,
Okay.
but it's going to be one or the other, or both of them might possibly do it. And then if you guys have questions on these two, like as you guys are digging into them on this main menu here, if you scroll down to the bottom and click help and training, there's a full like here, there will be documents and things on the calendars and everything. So if you just type in calendars, it'll walk you through like the different calendars and how to set them up and things like that. Okay. But yeah, you're going to look at either the collecting or the class. It'll be one or the other. But those will allow you to do like multiple people. And I think with the class one, especially, I believe the class one, we have one user who's using those because they do classes like every 2 weeks, and only a certain number of people can sign up to those. So they say, hey, we're only letting 10 people in this week, and then you got to wait for 2 weeks. Sign up now before the spots are taken. And I believe he's using the class booking one because they're doing kind of like a live webinar where people sign up, and then once the room's full, the calendar will show that there's no other space, and then
Yeah.
it
Okay.
opens up the next one.
Very cool. Um, thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? Gives you places to
I'll,
start looking and playing?
yeah, I'll let somebody else go. My other question is not like anything urgent, and I just noticed something today and thought, oh, it spawned a question, but let's let Ralph or somebody else go.
Oh, no worries. Ralph, I know we're building all the Ralph stuff, so my guess is Ralph's just here learning and catching up because Ralph can just sit back and relax while we take care of it all. Ralph, you got any questions or anything? How's your week going?
Hey, pretty good and good to be here. I'm working on building out communities
Yeah.
and I wrote up my outline
Okay.
and what I'm running into is I get the community name and then you can add channels,
Mm-hmm.
but I need sub channels.
Sub channel.
Otherwise, I'm going to have to create another community name and kind of fill
And
it up
separate
with
them.
a whole bunch of communities.
Hmm.
And I
Okay.
was my other alternate was, can you add a new community group, like a new sign in for a whole new community group to break it down to
Just
like a
like different
different,
groups.
different departments within an
Yeah, you could.
organization.
Yeah, you could. So, for those of you who don't know, you can create your own groups, and they look a lot like a Facebook group and a Slack channel came together. And then they actually have like you can build learning, or you can connect your learning, your courses and everything in them as well. Let me see if let me see if we've got one set up that I can show you in a demo while we talk about it a little bit. I don't know that I know this demo account's not going to have anything in here, but let me see real quick. But anyway, when you guys click on, when you guys log into your courses, or I'm sorry, log into scalability on the left side, you'll see courses. And when you click on courses at the top, you'll see courses, communities, and certificates. When you hover over communities, you'll see groups. And that's what Ralph's talking about. He's creating actual groups for different levels of their clients, right? Essentially, to put it in a language we'll all understand. And so he's got 3 different groups for the actual clients. And you guys can create as many groups as you want. Think of them as like Facebook groups. You go and create a group, it's creating a Facebook group. The only difference is we have, like he mentioned, the channels. You can create channels on the side that look like Slack channels. So if I was, say, doing real estate, I would have a group for wholesaling real estate. And then on the left side for the channels, I could create weekly call check-ins or live Q&A or Q&A sections. Ask your questions in here. Click here to learn about title and XYZ. And people could talk in those different channels and not muddy up the waters of the pipeline or of the timeline, right? It also has like leaderboards and things to check in there to where if people are liking your comments, they get points for it and they can move up a leaderboard for interaction to where it kind of gamifies the communities. So Ralph, yes, you can have as many groups as you want, and you can always make it to where there's links directly on inside one group that link out to another one. It's just giving people access to where they want to go. So naturally, we'd have to dig into who's going to be in what group, right? So that you don't just end up with a bunch of groups without like a process of how you're going to flow them from one to the next. But to simply answer the question, yes, you can have as many groups as you want. But dig in a little bit more. Explain what you're wanting to happen there, because I know we had the 3 communities. And then what are the other ones that you're thinking about or kicking around the ideas?
Right now I uploaded already and created like 10 more.
Okay.
But within the, like, just pick one of them would be a organizer, and then under that a channel for outreach, under that outreach another sub channel for outreach development. So
Okay.
and it won't let me create a sub channel off a channel. So
Right.
I'm going to have to back it up and create another group where I can create channels related to the group's function. It's kind of like when you're doing bullets, you get the main bullet, then a number 1, then an A, and now I want the other
Yep.
paragraph thing.
Okay.
But so I'm just playing around with it and seeing what looks right. I don't want to muck it up to where it's like, oh my goodness, what's all this stuff? And they don't know where to go. But I'm like you were talking about, we do links when we're driving client to where I want them to go.
Right.
So
So let me share this real quick. This is one of our accounts where we had mocked up some things for play to kind of show this. So we don't use a ton of this. We don't use a ton of these communities, and we don't use these very often, but we build them for other people. But naturally, I'll share mine. So when you guys build your own groups, so let me back up a second. You can have groups, you can have affiliates, right? With their own links to share your products to their friends, and they get credit for that. And then you can have courses and things that you sell and deliver and things as well, right? So you can sell courses from Scalability, you can have an affiliate program from Scalability, you can have groups where people can come together and interact. You have one place, the client portal, where people log in, one username, one password, they log into the client portal. It brings them into this right here, and this is what they see. They can build out their own profile with links to their own socials, their own phone number, email, all that, and fill out their own profile. And then here, they can access the groups they have access to. They can look at their affiliate earnings here, and they can access courses and everything here. So you can essentially give people, like somebody could be in your private group, be an affiliate for you, and have access to courses, and they just log into one place and they get it all right there. So when they log in here, these 9 dots in the top right corner, they hover over that, you'll see communities, affiliates, and then right here they can click on it. But if they click on affiliate earnings, it'll take them directly to like their affiliate dashboard. And across the top, they'll be able to see any leads or customers, any commissions that are owed to them, or anything like that. If they click the home button in the top left, it just takes them back. They click join a group, it'll show them the groups that are available. And this is what a group looks like inside of Scalability. Over here on the left are the channels that Ralph's talking about. So we can't do sub channels, right? Where there's like a start here and then a sub channel underneath it, right? It would just be start here, and then it would have like a featured post or whatever, and then people can comment. All of these are going to function just like a Facebook or anything. You can title it, put your body, upload photos, attachments, links, videos, whatever, and publish. And then there's actually like members. You can see who all's in the group, and a leaderboard. This is where it'll actually kind of gamifies it. If people are liking posts, they're going to move up to level 2 and it'll show up on their pictures. Right here on the right side, though, this is what I was talking about, Ralph, is inside the groups, you could put links right here, right? Like you could do a link right here for people in this group that need to move on to the next group, right? Or something, right? Because you guys can put links here to anything you want. So this is a kind of a demo or a test, right? Where we're saying like the fast scaling affiliate army. So these would be like our affiliates would be the only ones in this community with access to this. But we could have a link right here that says become an affiliate, or we could make this an open group and have anybody in here and have this click to become an affiliate, and it just goes out to the website, right? You guys can add links here however you want, but in Ralph's group, everybody's going to be specifically doing one thing inside this community. And that's what you're kind of figuring out is links over here. Probably, Ralph, would be the best way to move people from one to the other, or just reminding people to go back to the groups right here and they can see all the groups that they're in. So any groups they have access to, they can toggle through right here, jumping between groups. And you see this one here has like weekly Thursday calls. If you click on that, it's just the Zoom link to where it automatically opens up the Zoom. So they could click on that on Thursday and it just opens up the Zoom. Facebook, YouTube just kind of brings people to different stuff. The learning up top, you can actually connect your courses in your Scalability account and drop them right there. So then anybody who's in the group can just click learning up top and get and access their courses right in there too. They can kind of have everything in one spot. So Ralph, I know you're going super deep with yours with a lot of communities, it sounds like. And that just might take some more digging in, because I would say you don't, like you mentioned, you don't want to create too many, because then people are like, what group am I supposed to do what in? Like you really want to simplify it down if you can. And just think of like, how are you going to lead people inside that group? So I wouldn't necessarily want to take them from multiple group to multiple group, right? Where they're jumping back and forth. I would say, hey, if you're this person, this is your group. And then I would just have like your categories, like you're saying, and your subcategories would just be stuff talked about in the timeline. Like I would just make posts in here to talk about the subcategories that you need to under, say, marketing tactics. I like say, hey, click on marketing tactics. And then in here, just guide people through the topics, share different things, because you can pin posts and everything. Like the start here, we can make this featured so it always stays at the top. And then anybody else is going to post underneath it. So if there's like a subcategory that you're talking about, you could pin it right here to the top. Be like, hey, also in here, we're going to talk about this or something, and kind of guide them in here. But that way they stay in one group and they know I just go back to this group to do the thing. And then this very clearly gives them the channel that they need to talk about whatever it is that they're talking about. And then I would post the resources in here on how they can like find them, or a welcome video or anything. Like you could make a video in each one of these channels and make it featured to where anybody who clicks over here, it explains how to use this section. I think I would avoid moving them between too many groups though, just because I've watched people for 6 years navigate things and they have a really hard time remembering where to go. Is that helpful, Ralph?
Yes, that helps because I didn't want to make it too confusing for the end user to navigate
Yeah.
and kind of drive them through the process and what project they're working on.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like collaboration teams and
Yep.
stuff. But
Yeah.
it's not really a major problem. It's my learning curve is getting the logo to a one-to-one aspect and the other picture and
Yep.
trying to get every time I change it, it's like it didn't change anything. So I'm just learning how to looking for an easy way to take what picture I want for the cover image
Yeah.
and the
Have you
logo.
used have you used Canva at all?
Yes.
Go into Canva and set the canvas size to whatever size you need it. So 1-to-1 just means it's the same, like 600 to 600. 600 by 600 is 1-to-1. 1080 by 1080 is like 1-to-1. If I'm ever wrong, guys, feel free to correct me. I'm fully open to it. That's how I learn, like, as far as I know. And like, because in scalability, if you need a header image, it'll say 250 by 1600. So go to Canva and do a custom size, make it 1600 by 250. And then when you bring it over, it'll fit.
That's what my problem was. I wasn't selecting the canvas size.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I need to, and I think that's where my
Yep.
error.
Hey Ralph, if you already have something designed, you can click on it and there's a resize button in Canva. So you can resize it to the custom size or pick options they have. And you may have to adjust it a little bit, but it does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
as
Like
then you
if
long
you
as
don't
I
have to
just grab,
select
rebuild it.
that. Yeah, as
yeah.
long as I select the canvas, I think that's where I'm really messing up.
Right. Well, what
'Cause
she's saying is if you already have something, so if
yeah,
you already created, say, a presentation, like if you just go to Canva, you can click presentation, it pulls up like a rectangle, right? And then you just design something, you're like, oh, this looks great. You bring it over and it doesn't fit. If you open that in Canva that you already have and it was, say, a presentation, and I think those are like 1600 by 1200 or 900 or something like that, but you need it to be, say, 1600 by 250, you can open up that design that you already have in Canva. And then in the top left corner, there's a button that says resize. So instead of starting a new canvas, you can resize the canvas that's there on your design. And then your design will like shrink to fit it or blow up. And you can resize your stuff to fit in the new canvas instead of picking the canvas and starting from scratch. That's what she was saying. Does that make sense?
yes, because I've
Okay.
done enough things that didn't work. I'm starting to recognize what may work, but that is
Yep.
helpful.
That's
Yeah,
how we learn. Mess
yeah.
things up enough and you'll get it figured out. I remember what was it was 14 years ago, 15 years ago. I was remodeling a house before we took off and went into missions work. I bought a house on 10 acres of land and it had wood floors, like the actual 3/4 inch wood floors that were put through the whole house. And then they had filled all the cracks with the wood filler, but nobody sanded it and finished it. And so I looked into sanding, like having somebody come in and finish the floors, and they wanted like $10,000 to finish the floors because of the size of the house and everything. And I went to Home Depot and Lowe's and I started asking questions. I was like, how do I finish the floors? They're like, well, you got to sand it and then fill the cracks and then sand it and then you're going to stain it and then you're going to stain it if you want to go darker, whatever, however many coats. Then you're going to clear coat it, and then you're going to buff it out. And like, this is what you need to do this and that. Well, it was only $500 to rent all the equipment and buy the supplies to actually do it myself. And I was like, I could mess this up 10 times and start over and do it again. And then I would know how to finish floors and it'd still be half the price of paying somebody else. And at that time, I was doing everything myself. So I saved the money and I learned and I did it myself. But messing it up actually gives you the knowledge of like, oh, it's not that big a deal. If I mess it up, it's cool. I'll just start again. And you'll get better at it by messing it up. Any other questions you guys have? Does that spawn anything else?
I had one quick follow-up question
Yeah.
to Edwina's about the 999-day thing.
Yeah.
So say there's a workflow, there's 10 emails, and somebody's already at the bottom of it. They're like, it's done. The workflow's over for, whatever, 100, all 200 subscribers that I have, and say I want to start going and adding to it.
Mhm.
And I want those people. Does the 999-day thing have to be there before they ever got to the end to it? Or can I go add 999 right now to that? And then will it keep them in the workflow, even if they've already reached the bottom? If that makes sense.
They've already reached the bottom. They've dropped out and they're not in there anymore.
Okay.
Yeah,
So if I wanted
once
them
they
to
hit the bottom, they're through. Mhm.
okay, so if I wanted somebody, say if I was doing like I was thinking through this in my head, like, because my goal is to start writing 2 emails a week, broadcast emails.
Okay.
My plan is, and I can broadcast that to my current subscribers. My plan is to start adding some of those emails to an automation, like a sequence when people
Yep.
opt in. So if I just send it to the broad, is that like a decent workaround? I just didn't know if I could use that 999 hack. So pretty much if I make a new workflow, like a new automation, I should put 999 at the bottom. It's like a fail safe, you're saying.
Yeah, essentially we use it as like a fail safe, right?
Okay. Because once they're out of it, there's no getting them back into it.
You can push them back into it, but they're going to push back in at the top and go through it again. So
Okay.
let's say if it was, like we mentioned before, and I'll show you guys what I mean. But if it was like we mentioned before, they get a confirmation email that delivers the PDF, right? And they get a confirmation text that's like, check your email. They get tagged and then you get a notification. They just opted in for the free thing. It waits a day. It sends them a follow-up. Hey, just reaching out to see what your biggest problem is. I'd love to help you. Shoot me a text if you got any questions. And then there's this, they drop out of the workflow. And then you add a $9.99 wait so that anybody new coming through hits the bottom and you can keep building out emails. And you're like, well, 100 people already went through this and I want them in at the $9.99 wait. You can't push them into the $9.99 wait. It'll push them in at the top and they'll get the confirmation email and the follow-up text and all that stuff again. And then they'll hit the $9.99. So something else you could do instead of, or in cooperation with, is instead of putting the $9.99 at the bottom, you could add let me see here. Let me find the one we just did. Sorry, I'm trying to find the one that we just did so that we could play with the same one. But apparently I didn't save it. So we'll start over. Only take a second. So instead of doing like the $9.99 wait, right? Like let's say they get the text. I'm just going to mock a couple things here real quick. Let's say they get the text and then we've got the wait we talked about the wait, 999 days, right? So here, you could do the wait and then anybody new coming through is going to drop in there and they're going to hit that wait. So you could also do a step that is add to, like search workflow, and it'll say add to workflow, and then it'll let you choose another workflow. So we could say 1 year of weekly call reminders, right? And then you go over and you start building that one. So instead of building a bunch of emails right here, right, to where after this 999, you're going to build a bunch here, but then you can't push the old people into the top and come through. instead of building on right here, go build a new workflow that is like ongoing campaign and do 7-day wait email, 7-day wait email, 7-day wait email, and just start writing those and put a $9.99 at the bottom of that as the catch-all or as the fallback, the fail-safe, right?
Okay. And so if
Then
you
once you have those, you can push everybody past this, they'll drop to that, and it'll send them over to that workflow and drop them in. And then all the other people that have already been through, you select all those in your contacts and you push them into the other workflow, and it'll start right at the top and everybody will pick up.
manually, so you'd have to push the people that didn't get it into that one manually.
Yep. You go to your contacts, search for everybody with that tag, opted in for the free thing tag, select them all, and you can add all of them to the workflow all at once.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
I had a sticky note and I was like in my head struggling to figure out the workflow thing. I'm like, okay, if they go through this and I gotta like get them into the next thing, but that thing's not built yet. And then what if they opt into
Yep.
one thing, but there's a few different ways to download the same lead magnet? Because I started writing out a bunch of tags and stuff. I'm like,
Yep.
I'm gonna run into some issues with the way I'm thinking of this. Like that's why I was trying to keep as much stuff as possible. Like my onboarding, I had like 3 different automations.
Mm-hmm.
And then after getting on a call with you, I was actually in the PT office. I went and put it all on one automation now, which is super nice. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like Maddie onboarding, Ryan onboarding, and then I have payment links for her, payment links for me. I got
Yep.
that idea from Cody
Nice.
because that's how all of his stuff was built up. But that makes sense.
Yeah. So right here, if you go into your contacts for the people that have already fallen off that workflow, let's say it's just all these people, I can select them all. And then right above that, that little robot head, if you hover over that, it says add to automation. So if we click on that, okay to proceed, here you can choose what workflow you want to push them into. So then
Okay.
you can just push them, click add to automation, and it's going to send everybody into that new automation all at once and drop and make them run through.
Okay.
Good questions. Good technical questions of how they come together. I like it. Other than the fact that it's all email.
Yeah.
I'm slowly getting better because like all the questions. So it's good. It forces me to figure things out. Does that spawn any new questions, or does that feel like it gives you guys stuff to work on for the next week?
That did spawn an opportunity. So
Nice. Do
that
it. Bye.
when
Have a
I'm
good one.
Thank you. Y'all take care.
thank you. Yeah, when I'm building out the initial contact list and I want to update some of the fields that they didn't was not populated, I could go use that workflow drop down list, select all those contacts, and then send them a new intake form so
Yep.
they could review what their contact is and populate the missing fields.
Yep. You could send them just basically a new form anytime.
Right.
And you just send them a new form with the new questions. And then when they fill that out, it'll update their contact profiles. And yeah, you
Yeah.
could select everybody in your contacts list and send them all one email that says, here's the new form. If you're going to do that, you want to make sure you make it personal for people. So let me show you guys. There's some cool, well, I think they're cool. And to me, they're kind of normal and natural now because we do them so much, but a lot of people don't even realize they can do it. If we select everybody, we can come in here. So Ralph, this will be a good one for you if you decide to send it out to everybody. You create your form, and it's like you get your link that you're going to send them, right? Come into your contacts, select everybody or whoever you want. Come up here to send email right above it. Click that. You'll see okay to proceed. And then here you'll put in your name, your email, support at, whatever. Write your subject. And then in here, you want to say, hey, or hi, or whatever, space, and then go custom values right here and do contact first name. It will put in this little code, contact first name. If you selected 1,000 people on your contacts list, every one of them is going to get one email directly from you saying, hey, Aaron, hey, Ralph, hey, Ryan. It'll put their first name, whatever's on the contact profile, in to every single one of them. And then 2, you can actually schedule them down here at the bottom. So if you wanted them, let's say you guys have other jobs and other things going on during the day, you could write this at midnight and schedule it to go out. Click schedule or send it a scheduled time. Click start on down here, and then just choose the next day, say Monday morning at 8 a.m. And then it's going to send this email Monday morning at 8 a.m. and everybody's going to get one email directed towards them by name. You can do the same with text messages, but here's kind of something people don't think about. I used to work with a lot of like real estate investors that were like fairly new to the game. And so a lot of them have W-2 jobs all day long and they're working on stuff at 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. And I'm like, well, that's perfect. Schedule your follow-ups, even text messages. So let's say I need to write text message follow-ups to these 3 people. I need to follow up with them tomorrow, but it's 11:45 at night. It's the first chance I've got. So I can just click one person and I can write a text message right here at the top, click OK to proceed, and say, hey, so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. And then I can schedule it to go out for tomorrow morning and schedule these to go out at like an awkward time, like 8:07. Then it's a text message they'll send out at 8:07 in the morning while you're sleeping in because you were up all night or while you're at work the next day. Like there's numerous times where I'll do follow-ups like this. I'll just schedule a text to one person, 2 people, 10 people, one-offs, and I'll schedule them all to go out the next day, like just at random minutes over the course of an hour or so. And I know that I have Zoom meetings and stuff the next morning. I'll be in calls like for 4 hours, but in the morning while I'm on Zoom calls coaching people, I'll have text messages going out to people, following up with them and updating them. So like this is a way that you can leverage the automation to follow up with people around your jobs and things too. Go ahead, Ryan.
I was just say that's really handy. I actually use the Google email scheduling feature when I'm up late working to message clients early when I'm sleeping.
Yep.
But it's for the early risers that I know. I'll have it send it to them at like 5:10, 5:15 a.m. and I am dead asleep.
Yep. You can do all that in here now. And you can do it
Wow.
with text messages, which I thought was cool. I'm like, oh, so I can make text messages go out tomorrow morning while I'm doing something. And something too, like if people wanted a follow up during certain times. So let's say I get off the phone with you right now and say, hey, Ryan, we're talking about going through with this thing, doing this thing. And you're like, that's great, man. I'm out of town for like 3 days. Could you shoot me a text on, next Wednesday and remind me? I'll be like, yeah, man, no problem. Have an awesome weekend. Have a good trip. We'll talk to you later. As soon as I get off that call with you, I can select your name, write the text for next Wednesday, and schedule it for next Wednesday and walk away. Now, it will just automatically text you next Wednesday, and I just go on and do another business. Right? So it's like as soon as you get off the phone with somebody, you can send them the follow-up text for the next whatever.
Is there a possibility to set things on like a recurring basis?
That's more, I think, in your automations. I
Okay.
believe you'd have to build an automation to actually have it go out over and over or
But
on
if
time
everybody had a
frames.
specific contact tag, like an active client,
Yeah.
because one of my thoughts was I want to increase my client check-in compliance,
Yeah.
and I want to send out kind of like a weekly text along with the check-in. Everybody gets it delivered in the app, but not everyone follows the
Yep.
instructions and turns their app notifications on. I don't know why someone would pay a coach and not check in with them. It's beyond me.
Dude,
But that summer,
I had a lady pay me $25,000 for a year-long program. She showed up every week for 3 months and disappeared. She kept paying the monthly payments until it was paid off and didn't show up for 9 months. I was like, why would you? You're never going to know why people do anything. It's like their results are on them. But we show up. I showed up every week and I started the Zoom and I sat there for an hour every week for the entire year. I was like, I was at the call.
yeah. Yeah,
But
I've had some people
it's
pay in
crazy.
full. We everything we do now is month to month, but when I had a sales team, especially, it made it even more weird. So, the call would close, I'd pay the closer sales commission. And I had a few people pay like $2,100, $1,800, $1,500 and never start our program. And I was like, what? And it just
What?
happened to my fiance for the first time. The girl never did anything. She never started.
Mm-hmm.
And for 3 months, I was like, okay, cancel our subscription. And because we do a 3 month minimum commitment, and that's how we do it now. But I
Yep.
was like, good gosh, like what is the deal? So
Always follow up with them even after the 3 months.
yep,
Follow up because they may renew and still not start it just because they're like, I'm gonna do it. They're in their mind. People are thinking, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna
yep,
do this.
yep. That's the
And
craziest thing. I've had people come back after paying in full and then actually start before and still continue to pay. And I'm just like, what? It just I can't wrap my head around it. But yeah, anyways, long story short,
yeah,
if I have my active client tag, then I could set an automation and it would just be an email or a text that I could send weekly from an automation. That makes sense.
yeah.
That's
So
something
I
I
would
could.
just set it to where anybody who becomes an active client, like when they purchase, they go
Yep.
into that automation, right? Like it could be just a welcome sequence you have now, but you just build into that welcome sequence. So like from when they purchase, every 7 days, they get a text that says, don't forget to fill out your weekly thing. Or you can go through and you set an event date in there for Sunday or for Monday morning, right? And then you do a wait till 30 minutes before and it sends them a text. Hey, don't forget to fill out your thing inside the app. And you can have a link even in it. Click here to go to the app. But I would just build it straight into like your active client workflow
Okay.
automations. That way, as soon as they sign up, they just start getting a weekly text we build them out for a year typically. Or if you got a 3 month program they're signing up for, build it out for 3 months to where whenever they sign up, they're going to get a text every week for 3 months saying, hey, hope you're having an awesome week, whatever. And whatever day they sign up on, they'll just get it. If you do a 7 day wait, they're going to get it every Thursday if they signed up on Thursday, every Monday
Okay.
if they signed up on Monday, right? It'll just kind of go at different times based on whenever they sign up. If
I
you want
see.
them all to go out on Mondays, you would use an event day, right? To where everybody in that workflow, it goes to the event day and then it does it. Do you know what I'm talking about there? Or is that new?
No, that makes total sense. I would be using the event day because I'd want it to go. Everybody has the same check-in day for now.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So
as
do
we
an event date in the timeline. This is important. A lot of people miss this or mess this up. So let's look at it real quick. Because I think there was, yeah, 1 year of weekly coaching call reminders. So this is like a demo one that we had built out. So this is the way it looks. You have the event date, and then you have wait 30 minutes before. Then you have the text or the email or whatever you want to go out. Then you'll have the next event date and wait till 30 minutes before. Because remember, somebody's going to go from top to bottom through this automation. So the automation, the system sees them come down and it sets the event date for whatever you set it at. May 1st at 3 p.m. Well, all it's doing is telling the system there's an event May 1st at 3 p.m. when they hit here. So it's just going to let the system know there's an event. And if you just put the email, it drops them straight and sends the email and then goes right on to the event and then sends the email. If you say wait and you say event appointment time, wait before and do 30 minutes, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 1 day, 1 hour, whatever, save. Now it's going to tell the system they come down. The event is May 1st at 3. Then it's going to drop down. It's going to say wait till 30 minutes before May 1st at 3. And so the people will stop right here until 30 minutes before May 1st at 3. And it'll send and then it'll drop them on and they'll get the email. Then it'll pass them to the next one. They'll see the next event is May 8th at 3.
Okay.
They're going to fall through that, hit the 30 minutes before May 1st, May 8th at 3, and they'll wait right there. Then it'll drop them on. So this is what it looks like when you're doing that. There's going to be the event date and time, and then do a wait until whatever time before that, and then send an email. You can drop in, send a text too if you want, or it can just be a text, whatever. But that's the way that would work.
Okay.
So if it's like for 3 months, you just want to do this for every Sunday, the event would be every Sunday at 8 a.m. and then wait till 1 minute before and send the text.
Got it.
Makes sense? Because a lot of people will put in the event and then the email and then the event and then the email, and then they'll trigger it and everybody will get all the emails at once.
Gotcha. Okay.
And
Um,
you're like, what's going on? I just got 52 emails. That's supposed to be a whole year worth of automation.
yeah. Don't lose the link. Um, that sparked one question. When I asked about like a recurring text on Sundays, which I understand how to do that. So I only have like a small percent. I think I only have like 5 or 6 new clients. That their payments, that they signed up through scalability, like using the scalability link and everything, in order form. So I could go manually add all of my current clients into scalability as contacts.
Mhm.
And if I had all their phone numbers and everything and I added them like manually, I could probably go add all the tags, right? I could like
If
manually, because
you,
it's not a big roster of people right now. I'd only have to add probably 25 or 30 people.
Mhm.
Um,
Are they on a spreadsheet, like an Excel sheet?
I can get them on one. They are. They're in a Notion database.
Okay. So if you Excel or export it as an Excel, like a spreadsheet, right? Then you're just going to go to your contacts and upload that, click contacts on the left, and then over here, import or export import contacts.
Okay.
And here you'll upload that list. And when you upload all of them on that whole list, you'll be able to tag that whole list all at once, and it'll tag everybody individually. So you don't have to like tag everybody individually. Just get them all on one Excel and then upload them. And you can give them multiple tags if you want. So if they're like all people that opted in for your free thing and they're all active clients, when you upload the list, you can give them both tags, active clients, downloaded, whatever, and then click save, and it'll create all of them individually with those 2 tags on each one of them.
Okay. Because
Then you
everybody
can
that
go and
comes
push
through
them
when
into
they,
whatever. Sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say everybody that comes in when they sign up already gets those tags, and the only thing I'd be missing is their payment information, which is fine. That's just moving. I'm not gonna ask everybody to redo their payment information just to get into the system. I'll just do this, and then eventually, and I would imagine in 3 to 6 months, everybody will be current on scalability. So because it'll be on
Well,
the
and if you're taking payments through Stripe and your Stripe is connected to scalability, it'll sync stuff like that because your payment
okay,
information is held inside of Stripe, not inside of scalability,
got it.
right? So when you're bringing them in, if they're current clients, Stripe is going to start to sync over time too,
Okay,
you know.
sweet.
So it'll start to pull itself together as you get them all in there. The hard part is always switching from one to the other. That's like when people ask questions about, hey, I'm thinking about switching software to this other thing. I'm like, I'd hate for you to have to do it because I know there's a pain to switching software just because you're learning new software, you're exporting lists, importing lists, making sure tags go over. There's always that. Like, how do we get it working so that you don't have to switch?
Yeah, yeah. I'm about ready to get rid of type form. So I have a lot of forms to build in here, and then a
Yeah.
lot of them I'm just gonna do Google Forms for like check-in stuff because I think it'll be easier from a coaching perspective. Like if in a bad scenario, if a coach like left me high and dry or tried to do something, I can just go shut their email off and then they don't have access to Google Forms or anything like that.
Yeah.
Uh, and some of the forms I think will just be a little bit easier for like my fiance Maddie to build instead of always being in scalability. But for onboarding, everything's all in scalability. It's so nice.
Nice.
Had
Well,
only to try one.
it's always an ease of use, right? Like we've told people to use Facebook groups for their communities for a long time, even though scalability would do groups. And now our groups are getting really good. And we have gamification and leaderboards and all that type of stuff. And it's like, oh, they're pretty easy to use. They're pretty cool. But for the longest time, they were fairly new and we were developing them out. And so I was like, just stick with a Facebook group because for most people to maintain the Facebook group's easier, right? So it's not necessarily which one is better. Scalability's group still will be a lot better than a Facebook group. You own it completely off of the Facebook platform. You're not going to be ruled by Facebook. But at the same time, if you can't maintain a community outside of there, but you can start a Facebook group and then just go post every day, and that's easy for you. Well, you should probably go with what works for you. So like you can do all your Google Forms and everything in scalability, but if it's easier to like, well, this is working, everybody's familiar with it. Honestly, it's not that big a deal. We like it. Great. Stick with it. Figure out the process of how it works between the two things, right? To where you've got a good system for like using the Google Sheets with scalability, and it's like stick with what's working.
Yep.
You know, but if you go all in on scalability, I mean, just like these calls, like I said, I'm not going to say I'm the master of all these things, but I learn so much because all we do is scalability. When
Yeah.
people go, what about this? I'm like, we don't do anything over there. I have no idea. Like, but it's been all this, and that's the reason I even know anything I know about it right now, is because that's all we do is just that. So
Yeah. I think I've ditched 5 softwares so far.
nice.
Just sweet. Because it's about $400 a month.
That's a
So
mental bandwidth that that's priceless. That
yeah.
whole, this software, this much, this software, this much, the mental bandwidth cleared up, priceless. Remember those old commercials?
Oh yeah.
Credit card stuff. I was
I'm
like, we
looking
should
at, I'm
do
like,
one of those for scalability.
that's almost $5,000 a year right
Yep.
there.
Yep.
Already that I'm saving. I'm like, that's a couple
Yep.
vacations or at least one really nice one.
Yep. Not having to remember 5 different username and passwords, priceless.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I'm starting to come up with the commercial for the next ad.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's
Well, you guys got any other questions or anything before we wrap up?
I don't
No?
have anything.
Good. Well, I appreciate you guys. Ralph, anything?
No, I'm good. Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too. I appreciate you guys coming in, asking the questions, working through some stuff that gives us good content, helps me learn, and it helps make these a lot better. So have an awesome weekend, guys. We'll catch you guys next Friday.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you, Aaron.
Yep.
See ya.
See ya.
Thank you.